primordial forest hidden in eternal darkness. An 18-story city carved by hand. Clouds form on their own deep inside the earth. But from the surface, you only see an ordinary stone house, a glacier emitting a blue light, breathtakingly beautiful, and could collapse at any moment. But these places are not movie sets, not CGI. They exist, right now, beneath your feet. And there is a strange thing. Most of them, you are not allowed to enter. Not because they are dangerous, though many of them are, but because what is hidden in that darkness is not treasure. We are about to pass through 10 hidden worlds. And by the end of this journey, there is a question that will haunt you. How can these things be real? Beneath the ground, there are places that are not meant for you. Not because they are dangerous, though many of them are, but because what is hidden in that darkness is not treasure, but mirrors. Mirrors that reflect the deepest parts of who we are. Our fears, our ambitions, our desire to survive, and even the limits of the very knowledge we pride ourselves on. We have dug tunnels to hide the truth, to search for answers, and to protect ourselves from threats we created ourselves. But there is a paradox. It is precisely those locked and forgotten places that reveal the most about who we truly are. How can these things be real? That is the question that will accompany us, because the world below does not follow the normal rules of the surface. It is stranger, more real, and more terrifying than any work of fiction. You are standing before a massive stone portal in Vietnam. Looking in, you see only an endless black. Step inside, and the world changes completely. A rush of cold, damp wind blows past, carrying the smell of earth, of water, of ancient life. And then, amid the darkness, a massive column of light beams down from the sky. Inside is not endless darkness. It is a forest. A real primordial rainforest with a roaring underground river, stalagmites nearly 100 meters high, and clouds forming right inside the cave. Sun Doom Cave is a forgotten world, perfectly sealed off from the rest of the planet for millions of years. What happens when a world develops in absolute isolation? You get a distinct ecosystem. Sunlight pierces through massive sinkholes in the cave ceiling, creating a unique microclimate where mist rising from the underground river nourishes dense vegetation. This place is so large it could comfortably fit a 40-story skyscraper. And then you learn that, every year, only a few hundred people are allowed to step inside here. You may never be one of them. We both long to discover wonders and are forced to protect them from our very presence. Life has found a way here, in isolation. And perhaps the only way to preserve it is to keep it out of reach of the masses. You are crawling through a narrow tunnel in Alaska. The air is freezing, down to every cell. Then the tunnel widens, and everything around you lights up in a blue you have never seen before. In the heart of a glacier, a winding tunnel emits a blue light so surreal you would think you were on another planet. You are standing in a glowing blue tunnel that does not belong to this planet. The walls around you are ice, but not white. They glow a surreal turquoise, as if you have just stepped into the dream of a dying glacier. Place your hand on the ice wall. The feeling is bone-chilling. But the first question is, where does this light come from? There are no lights. There is no sun here. And the second question, more terrifying, why do scientists say you shouldn't stand here? That at any moment, this wall could collapse and erase you from life. This blue light, where does it come from? There are no lights. There are no windows. Only ice. Thousands of years old. And here is the strange thing, glaciologists are still debating. This blue could be because the ice crystal structure is compressed so tightly that it only allows a single wavelength of light to escape. Or maybe there is something else in this ancient ice that we do not yet understand. They admit, "We are not really sure." And that honest answer is more magical than any explanation. So what is hidden inside this dying beauty? The paradox of its existence. This is one of the most dangerous places to enter, not because it is guarded, but because of its very structure. The glacier is disintegrating at an unprecedented rate. These caves could collapse at any moment. They are an ephemeral masterpiece, born from the very process of destruction. Scientists cannot predict exactly when they will disappear completely. But the real question is not when, but rather, what do we feel when standing before a beauty that our very actions are erasing? That beauty reminds us that forbidden places are sometimes not to protect us from danger, but to protect the wonder itself from us. Now look even deeper down. Beneath the stone houses of the Cappadocia region in Turkey, there is an entrance. It is small, dark, and easily overlooked. But it leads to an underground city named Derinkuyu. This is not a bunker. This is an 18-story labyrinth hand carved into volcanic rock, capable of holding 20,000 people, along with their livestock, churches, schools, and homes. Or what fear could be so great that 20,000 human beings would rather disappear from the surface, accepting life like ghosts in eternal darkness? The answer is fear. Built in the 8th century BC, this city was a refuge for tens of thousands of people fleeing invasions and religious persecution. But they didn't just dig the earth, they designed it. There are more than 15,000 ventilation shafts ensuring fresh air for the entire city. Wheel-shaped stone doors weighing tons can only be opened and closed from the inside. But the most astonishing thing remains a mystery. No one knows how vast this entire network is. Archaeologists believe that Derinkuyu connects to other underground cities through unexcavated tunnels, kilometers long. We have only explored a part of the world below. And there is a harsh truth: just how extraordinary the things humans can create to protect their life and freedom of belief truly are. Hiding from the world is an instinct. But facing the past underground is a challenge of the soul. Beneath the brightly lit avenues of Paris lies another labyrinth. A labyrinth of death. The walls here are not built with bricks. They are neatly lined with millions of human skulls and femurs, forming gruesome patterns that stretch into the darkness. The catacombs of Paris are one of the places that make it hardest to believe your eyes. How could a macro-artistic structure made from the remains of over 6 million people exist? Imagine 18th century Paris. Cemeteries overflowing with corpses. The stench of death spreading through the streets. People began to fall ill. And then a gruesome decision was made: exhume all the remains and move them beneath the city itself. But instead of dumping them in chaos, monks arranged them into artistic walls, pillars, and altars. This is a human response to the chaos of death, creating order and meaning from it. But the story does not stop there. More than 300 kilometers of tunnels remain out of control. Beneath Paris, there is an illegal underworld where people known as cataphiles secretly build rooms and even bootleg cinemas. What they do there remains largely unknown. This shows us that history does not just live in museums. It is right beneath our feet, and a part of it is still being written. But while in Paris, humans found a way to face death, in another place, they turned the underground into the very battlefield of survival. For a tiny secret trapdoor, perfectly camouflaged against the Vietnamese forest floor. It is so small you would miss it if you didn't know what you were looking for. But beneath that trapdoor lies an underground city of war. The Cu Chi tunnels are a tunnel system over 250 kilometers long. It was not just a hiding place. It was a complete battlefield with hospitals, weapon caches, kitchens, and thousands of deadly booby traps. How could humans live and fight in a world less than a meter high, in the dark and amid the sound of bombs and bullets? The truth is, they did. The Vietnamese people and guerrillas dug this system with rudimentary tools. They turned physical limitations into strategic advantages, creating a deadly labyrinth that the enemy could not penetrate. The system was designed with multiple levels and countless escape routes, taking advantage of the hard and durable laterite clay. There are still many unexplored sections of the tunnels, containing the untold stories of unknown soldiers. This is a testament to a truth about humans. Victory does not always come from superior strength. Sometimes it comes from patience, wisdom, and an extraordinary understanding of the terrain. But it is also a reminder that the boundary between life and death, between freedom and captivity, is often just a trapdoor away. From a past war of survival, we move to a conservation effort for the future. On a remote island in the Arctic, an angular, minimalist concrete structure juts out from the white snow. It looks like a secret military facility or a misplaced piece of modern art. That is the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. If doomsday comes, what deserves to be saved first? Our answer lies here. Carved deep into a permafrost mountain, this is a giant vault containing the biological backup of human civilization. Inside are over 1 million seed samples from all over the world. But what makes this place mysterious is not what it contains, but its very existence. Why did we build a place like this? The permafrost acts as a natural refrigerator, ensuring the seeds always stay at -18 degrees Celsius, even if the power fails. It is designed to withstand nuclear war and natural disasters. But will it truly survive for thousands of years and serve its purpose for a post-apocalyptic civilization? That is an unanswered question. This place is an expression of foresight and collective responsibility, but at the same time, a cold acknowledgement of our deepest existential fear: self-destruction. The richness of the world can be compressed into a single underground room. Its mission is to preserve life, but its existence is built on the fear of death. If Svalbard is a place to preserve life from doomsday, the next location is designed to operate that very doomsday. Imagine a solid granite mountain in Colorado. You approach and see two 25-ton steel doors, over 3 meters thick, carved deep into the mountainside. This is the entrance to the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, a top-secret underground military city. The astonishing thing is not that it exists, but how it exists. Inside the mountain, 15 three-story buildings are not built on the ground. They are placed on giant 500-ton springs. Why? To withstand the shocks of a direct nuclear strike. This is the pinnacle of paranoia and military engineering, a command center born from the Cold War fear of mutual destruction. The entire base operates as an independent entity with its own water, air, and power supply. What is actually happening inside today remains largely unknown. But there is a deeper meaning. The machine built to protect civilization from destruction is the ultimate symbol of that civilization's capacity for self-destruction. This place is not just a fortress. It is a monument to our own fear. But humans do not only dig deep into the earth out of fear. We also dig to search for answers to the greatest questions of existence. Come to a gold mine in South Africa. You step into a tiny elevator and plunge straight into a scorching abyss. More than 2 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. Your destination is not gold. It is one of the quietest places in the universe, a physics laboratory. Why? To search for the greatest secrets of the universe, must we go into the deepest parts of the Earth. Scientists here are hunting dark matter, which is believed to make up 85% of the universe but has never been seen. To hear the extremely weak signal from a dark matter particle, the environment needs absolute silence, undisturbed by cosmic radiation. The kilometers of thick rock above act as a perfect shield. This is one of the rare points of intersection between the human world and the mysteries of the early universe. But the question remains, what is dark matter really? We have dug deep into the harshest environments to search for something we cannot even define. Curiosity has driven us that far. We dig not just for gold or minerals, but to search for the very nature of reality. Sometimes the most extraordinary answers do not come from the cosmos, but from the very cities we live in. Beneath the noisy streets of Chicago, a massive river is flowing. But it is not a natural river. It is the Super Gallon Tunnel, an underground network nearly 180 kilometers long. It is one of the greatest civil engineering wonders ever built, yet almost no one knows of its existence. And that is no accident. Its purpose is absolute invisibility. Why is a giant machine that processes billions of gallons of water every day, saving the city from catastrophic flooding, nearly invisible? Because that is the definition of ultimate success in engineering. It works perfectly in silence. This system was started in the 1970s and is so massive that when the giant tunnel boring machines finished their work, they could not be brought to the surface. The cost was too great. So those machines weighing thousands of tons were left forever in the dark, like statues of a forgotten industrial era. They are still there, right beneath our feet. This truth poses an existential question. How many other giant machines, how many other underground cities exist without us ever knowing? Finally, we come to a place that does not hide life, death, or power. It hides knowledge itself. Beneath the British Museum in London lies a labyrinth of endless corridors, with towering iron shelves filled with ancient artifacts wrapped in paper. This is the storehouse for millions of priceless treasures from every civilization, things the public is never allowed to see. If a museum only displays 1% of what it owns, what story is the other 99% whispering? This is a giant graveyard of knowledge where most of human history lies dormant in the dark. We are creatures that obsessively collect the past, yet our physical form and time limit our ability to truly understand it. How many unsolved historical secrets still lie in nameless boxes here, waiting for a future researcher to discover? The overwhelming truth is that a single lifetime is not enough to explore everything stored in this place. We possess more knowledge than ever before, yet most of it lies out of our own reach. What we see in museums is only the tip of the iceberg. Real history, with all its chaos and scale, is locked away underground, waiting to be told. And so we return to the surface, but with a changed perspective. 10 locations, 10 forbidden tunnels. But this video is not really about them. It is about what they reflect. We have seen resilient life inside Sun Dune Cave, the ephemeral beauty of Mendenhall Ice, and the desire to survive in the Derinkuyu Labyrinth. We have witnessed humans face death in Paris, fight for life in Kuchi, and prepare for doomsday in Svalbard. We have dug deep into fear at Cheyenne Mountain, into the mysteries of the universe in South Africa, and into our own knowledge in London. Each place is a buried confession of all humanity. We dig to escape, to protect, and to search. But in the end, what we find in the deepest underground is the undeniable reflection of humans on the surface. We are contradictory creatures, wanting to discover every secret, yet longing to hide them. We understand less than we think. And this world is still full of wonders. The next time you walk on the ground, remember that right beneath you is a whole parallel universe where reality is stranger than any dream. How can these things be real? Perhaps that question was never meant for the tunnels. It was meant for ourselves,